The spelling test is on your homeroom Google Classroom. All right, we're officially starting to record, so I'm going to get started. So this is our first official grammar lesson. So my screen is shared, so you should be able to see what I see. If I'm asking questions, you should be putting it in the comments. Make sure we're only using the little chat comments for school things. So our grammar topic this week is complete sentences. So you may think you know everything about complete sentences, but we're just going to learn a little bit more. So, a complete sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. So, you start at your thought and you end with your thought. It's not like, oh, what was the rest of that? Every sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. A simple subject is the main word or word that tells whom or what the sentence is about. And the simple predicate is the main word or words that tell what the subject is or does. So it sounds kind of confusing the way they explain it, but we're going to do some practice ones together. It's a little bit easier than we think. So on this example, the students is the simple subject because that's who it's about. Then the simple predicate is learned, which is in purple because that's what they're doing. So the students subject, that's who it's about. Learned predicate about gravity in science class. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So we're going to do a few practice ones together. So complete sentences. We're going to identify the simple subject and simple predicates in each sentence. So I'm going to do the first one out loud, and then you guys are going to type in the chat the next one. So number one, the students researched gravity. So the subject is students because that's who it's about, whose it's about. And the predicate is research because that's what they're doing. So for number two, Butch found a website about natural resources. So in the chat for subject, I want you to write S dash, tell me what the subject is. I then write P for predicate, and then dash, tell me what the predicate is. So in the chat, tell me what the subject and the predicate is for number two, if you know. Evan, it ends whenever I'm done with this. I don't know how long this is going to take. If you know the answers, put them in the chat. What is the subject and what is the predicate for Butch found a website about natural resources? All right, Evan put in half the answer, and Brashella put in all. Brashella, you are incorrect about your P. We are incorrect about the P. Brashella, now you're right. All right, so subject is Butch. That's who it's about, and the predicate is found. It's what they did. They found a website. So it is S Butch and P found. Thank you. Thank you. So here's the subject. Found a website. I guess we could say the whole thing. Found a website for the predicate. All right, number three. The teacher read the students' research report. Same thing. What's the subject? What's the predicate? Who's it about and what did they do? Who is it about and what did they do? The teacher read the students' research reports. Ooh, I see 3 correct answers already. Good job. Oh, 4. Good job, Evan, Nolan, Brachelle, and Zachary. The subject is teacher, correct? Good job, Marissa. And the predicate is read. Good job. All right. Looks like you guys kind of got the hang of it. Next one. Katie raised her hand. Who's it about? Subject, and what's the predicate? What are they doing? Number 4. SMP in the chat, please. Good job, Isla. Isaac, you're correct on the subject. Ooh, I see all correct answers. Awesome. So Katie is our subject. That's who it's about. And our predicate, what she's doing is raised her hand. Good job. Number 5, the class had lots of ideas for the project. So this one's a little bit trickier. Who's the subject? Who's it about? And what did they do? Or what do they have? Or are they doing? 5. The class had lots of ideas for the project. What's S? What's P? Nolan, you're correct on your subject, not your predicate, though. Evan and Julian. Or Evan, you are correct on your subject, but not your predicate. Julian, you're correct. In case you're in the chat, the predicate is had. They had lots of ideas. And class is the subject. That one is a little bit trickier, but good job. Class is subject. P is had. And number 6, everyone in the class clapped at Alice's example. So who is it about and what did they do? S and P for number 6. S and P for number 6. Perfect. I see good answer. Subject is everyone. And what did they do? They clapped. That one was the easier one or simpler one. Good job, guys. All right. So what we're doing together is what we do together. And then after this is all over, I'm going to assign some practice things for you to do on your own. That'll be just like this, except for they'll be in a Google Doc. But we're probably going to do a few of them together today. If not, we'll do them tomorrow. But good job on the subject and predicate. We're going to move on to sentence fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. This is something, my lovely friends, you guys all need to work on. A sentence expresses a complete thought. We already talked about that. From the beginning to the end, it's a whole complete thing. A sentence fragment is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. Sometimes you forget the subject, you forget the predicate, and then I'm like, what? What are we talking about? A sentence run-on is when two sentences that run into each other, like you need a period somewhere. And a comma splice occurs when two complete sentences are joined by a comma without a conjunction. So we're going to move on we're going to continue on. So here's some examples of the 3 things I just read about. A sentence fragment. The students covered in paint finished the mural proud of their work. So all of those are sentence fragments. The middle one, finish the mural, is the predicate, but there's no subjects. Proud of their work has a predicate, but no subject. So those are just not that fabulous. Those are fragments. The next one underneath is a run-on sentence. The students covered in paint finished the mural. They were proud of their work. Yeah, that can be 2 sentences, or it needs a comma, or it needs a conjunction like and, but, or. And then a comma splice. The students covered in paint finished the mural, comma, they were proud of their work. So adding that comma in the comma splice right here, adding that comma went from a run-on to a sentence that was doable because it had a comma. So we are going to, we're just going to identify some sentences. I'm going to read the sentences and you're going to tell me if it's SF for sentence fragment, run-on for a run-on sentence, or CS for a comma splice, okay? So SF, sentence fragment. Run on, meaning it needs a new period or something because it's just not making sense, or a comma splice, CS, okay? So the class experimented with paint colors. Or it can also be a regular sentence. If it's just a sentence, put sentence. Sorry, I missed that. So there's 4 different things it could be. The class experimented with paint colors. Is that a sentence fragment, a run-on sentence, or a comma splice? By the way, if it's a comma splice, it needs to have a comma. So there's a little help there. What do we think? Sentence fragment, comma splice, run-on. All right. So this one is a regular sentence. The class is the subject and experimented is the predicate. So number one is just a regular sentence, okay? Plain old regularness. Number two, the boy with brown hair. Is that a sentence? Sentence fragment. Run on, comma splice. The boy with brown hair. Number two is what we're on now. The boy with brown hair. Remember, if it's a comma splice, Landon, it would have to have a comma in it. So that cannot be a comma. Run-ons would have too many words. So for number two, I'm not seeing a ton of correct answers. Double check it again. The boy with brown hair. The boy is our subject. I'm not seeing a predicate. Rochelle, Mark, Zachary, you guys are correct. Julian, you're correct now. It is a sentence fragment. If it said the boy has brown hair, that would be a complete sentence because has would be the predicate, but it says with. So the boy with brown hair, what about him? We don't know anything about him. There's no predicate. So number two is a sentence fragment. Good job, all of you guys that said that. Number three, Jenner used blue paint for his hair. Jenner used blue paint for his hair. In your mind, think, what's the subject? Who's it about? And is there a predicate? Did they do something or are they going to do something? What is number three? Sentence, sentence fragment, run on, comma splice. Ooh, I see correct answers. Mark, you only have to put it once, bud. It is a complete sentence. It's just a regular old sentence. Our subject is Jenner or whatever, Gunner. I don't know how you say it. Jenner. And used would be our predicate. So number three, sentence. Number four, whatever color they want. Whatever color they want. This one's a little bit tricky. Whatever color they want. All right. So this one I feel like is a little bit tricky, and you could probably make a case for either sentence or sentence fragment because whatever color they want. If I said, what color should I give the kids? Question mark. Olive could say back, whatever color they want. So this could be a complete sentence because they is who it's about and one is the predicate. So this one's a little bit tricky because it could be like the answer to a question. So that one's a sentence as well. Number five, the class painted a beach, comma, they also painted a forest. So which one's this one? This one should be giveaway. This one should be a giveaway because there's something in the middle of our sentence. Is it a sentence? Sentence fragment, comma splice, run on. What is it? Yay, you guys are all correct. It is a comma splice. Good job. There's a comma in it. It's like a dead giveaway. And the last one for this is Jenna got pink paint in her hair. She didn't mind. What is that? Jenna got pink paint in her hair. She didn't mind. What is that? Good job, guys. It is a run on. If we had a comma After hair, right here, in between hair and she, then it would be a comma splice. But right now it's just a run-on because it doesn't have a conjunction and it doesn't have a comma. So right now it's just a straight run-on. She needs a comma. You guys did pretty good at that too. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and we will see what's next. Writing sentences. So, a complete sentence has a subject and a predicate. The subject tells whom or what the sentence is about, and the predicate tells what the subject is or does. The complete sentences express a complete thought. That's just review from what we've already learned earlier during this. So, here's an example of a sentence fragment. The eager students. That's a subject. There's no predicate. Doesn't tell us what they did. So here's a complete sentence. The eager students planned, predicate, a trip to the science museum. So now each one of these sentences are missing either a subject or a predicate. So you guys are going to write the first part or the last part of the sentence in the chat, and I'm going to read some that are allowed. So blank laughed and talked on the bus. So laughed and talked would be our predicate. So we're missing a subject. So here's our predicate. We need a subject. So type a subject for me in the chat. Blank laughed and talked on the bus. Tell me. He. That works. He laughed and talked on the bus. Good one, Nolan. The kids laughed and talked on the bus. Everyone. Students. We. All of those are good options. Thank you, guys. Okay, humans laughed and talked on the bus, I guess. I don't know who's going to be saying that sentence. All right, good job, guys. They laughed and talked on the bus. All of those work for subject of our sentence. Good job. Next one. Upon arriving at the store, the teacher, what? So, the teacher is our subject. We need a predicate. Upon arriving at the store, the teacher did what? Tell me a predicate. What did the teacher do? Mark opened the door. That's a good one because that's what you do when you get to a store, right? Evan, it would have to be past tense. It'd have to be walked. Nolan gasped. Julian fell. Walked in. Made a list. So, Evan, yours would have to be past tense because she already arrived at the store. Upon arriving at the store, the teacher blank. Picked up groceries. Yeah, that's something you might do at a store. Opened the door. Fell. All of those are predicates. All those are good. Fabulous, fabulous. Next one. Then the museum guide did what? So the museum guide is whose it's about. There's our subject. But now we need a predicate. What did this museum guide do? The museum guide. Then the museum guide. What? Gave a tour to the students. Perfect. That's something that they would do. Evan, it would have to be fed the monkeys, not feed the monkeys. Helped what, Marissa? You got to finish it. That'd still be a sentence fragment. Helped what? Showed the fossil, Nolan. Then the museum guide got paid. Okay. Ate a sandwich. It'd have to be fed the monkeys, not feed. All right. Next one. Blank illustrated a different scientific principle. So illustrated would be our predicate. Who did that? What's our subject? Who did that? My mom illustrated. The scientist. Nolan, you got to finish that. You can't just be the artist. Anyone else? The writer illustrated a different scientific principle. Jake illustrated a different scientific principle. Okay, cool. And we have another one that we're missing subjects. Blank were interactive. Who was interactive? So with this were, that means it's plural. So you couldn't say she were interactive. It has to be was. So it's going to have to be plural. So whoever your sentence is about is going to need to be plural. So he would not work, Nolan. They works. The kid works. They works. Evan, that would not work because Thomas Edison's one person. That's not plural. Marissa, we and they both work. Clones were interactive. That's a weird sentence, but I guess technically it works. Jake and Florian were interactive. Him and I, sure. He and she would not work, Marissa, because those are singular. We would work. All right, one final one for this thing, or for this section. Most of the students blank. So the students is who's it about, but now we need a predicate. Most of the students blank. What about them? Walked. Yes, most of the students walked. Perfect. Yawned. Read. Most of the students were bad for the substitute. Okay. Most of the students have bones. I hope we all have bones. Most of the students cried. Most of the students read. Most of the students played. Laughed. Slept. Drew. All right. Good job, guys. You guys are being super interactive. Go you. All right. I'm going to scroll down and see what we have next. Cooked. Misbehaved. It'd be misbehaved, Isaac. It wouldn't be disbehaved. It'd be misbehaved. Marissa, you only need to answer one time. I already saw your answer twice before. Please do not type it in 4 more times. All right. Review complete subjects or review complete sentences. All right. So these are exactly what we've already read before. A sentence is a group of words that makes us have a whole thought. It starts from the beginning and the end. The simple subject says whose it's about, and the predicate tells us what it is or does. Here's just 2 more examples. So the bus drove up to the theater. The bus is the subject. Drove is the predicate. Simple subject, the rock star. Simple predicate, walked off the bus. All right. And then here is just a little chart. We're going to, do I want to do that? No. Okay. Anyways, here's just a little chart. So a fragment, the new music album, that's a fragment because it doesn't have a predicate. It just is telling us what it's about. Has no predicate. Gave me a gift. That has a predicate, gave, but there's no subject. Who gave it to me? Run-on sentence. The album had music from India. I liked it. This could be 2 sentences. It should be the album had music from India, period. I liked it. Or if you added a comma after India before I liked it, you could have made it a comma splice. But right now, this is just a run-on sentence. And then comma splice, I listened to whatever that word is. She sang along. It's a comma splice. Look, there's that nice little comma connecting those 2 sentences. I think we're going to stop there for a moment. And I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to stop presenting my screen for a moment. And then I'm going to bring up something after I officially assign it to you. So in just 1 second on your Google Classroom, I'm going to assign you something. You can have 2 tabs open. You can go back and forth. But we're going to go over it real quick before we end this lesson. This is going to be your grammar practice / homework. It is going to be due Thursday morning at 7:45 a.m. So that's officially when like the bell rings. And by then it better be turned in. Otherwise it is late. Thursday afternoon, we will go over it all as a class, but I will be checking it that morning to make sure you have it done, but we're going to go over it Thursday afternoon. That way you guys are all prepared for your test on Friday. But I'm going to assign it as soon as my computer works with me because right now it's moving slow. Sorry. It is just exactly what we went over in those practice things we did together. It is literally that, but on a Google Docs that you're going to turn in when you're all done. If you have any questions with it, please ask me. But we're going to go over it quickly together. Well, not necessarily quickly, but we're going to go over it together. That way you know what it is talking about. Okay. So I'm officially assigning it. It should appear on your Google Classroom. And then I'm going to open up on my Google Docs and I'm going to share it with you guys. It creates a, everyone will have their own. It made a copy for each of you. So you don't have to worry about messing anyone's thing up, but it should be on your Google Classroom now if you want to open up another tab. If not, I'm going to share it on my screen and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about anyways. I'm just waiting for my screen to load so I can share it with you. If it ever loads. Thank you all for being patient. While I'm here, I haven't said the code today yet. While I'm here, those of you that are my straight virtual learners, if you are only a virtual learner, you need to finish your NWEA. Well, you won't have time today anymore, but tomorrow you need to make sure to finish your NWEA. If you're an at-school learner, whether Blackhawk or Westville, if you'll be at school tomorrow, you're finished. If you're not going to be at school tomorrow, you need to get it finished. So Landon, you were not at school today. So today would have been your day to do it at school, but now you need to make sure to do it at home tomorrow. You will not have time today though, because well, you probably won't have time today. I have a meeting after school that you won't be able to get on. All right. My screen is almost ready, and then we're going to go through your grammar. Like I said, you have until Thursday morning. So today is Monday, so you have all night today, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then the very early morning on Thursday. So you have plenty of time. I'm going to share my screen now so we can go over these together. It should be sharing just in a second. Should be presenting now. I apologize, it's slow, technology. Okay. For some reason it looks far away. Let me see if I can zoom on a little bit. Oh no, too much. Oops. Too much. Okay, that's a little bit better. That'll be good enough. So this first page is just on complete sentences. So here are just the rules that we've already read like twice today. They're just here again for you. And here's an example of a simple subject and a simple predicate. Then there are, I think, 5 or 6. Let's scroll down. No, where'd you go? I zoomed in too much, and then I tried to zoom out, and then it was too much. Okay, so you have 6 questions on the first page. You have to underline the simple subject, and you have to highlight the simple predicate. So in case you don't know how to do that, I'm going to show you right now. So the simple subject would be Frank. So you would highlight Frank. If my computer's going to work with me, you can do it. You can do it, computer. In case you don't know how to do it, you would highlight the word Frank. Pending it works. Sorry. Okay, so you would highlight the word Frank, and then you would click this U with the underline underneath, U standing for underline, and you would click it, and then guess what? Frank would be underlined. And then the simple predicate, you need to highlight it. So what you would do is you would highlight it. This is still frozen. Okay, come on, computer, you can do it. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Okay, Come on, computer. You would highlight delivered. Okay, pretend it's highlighting because it's just not doing it right now. And then you would go up to this little marker up here next to the A, and you would click it, and then you just pick a color to highlight it. And you're going to do that for all 6 of them. The simple predicate and the simple subject, okay? I'm going to scroll down now to the next one. This one is on sentence fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. So here, once again, here's the examples of what a sentence fragment is, a run-on, and a comma splice. And all you have to do is type whether it is a sentence or a sentence fragment for the first 6. And then on the bottom 6, you're going to read the sentence fragment, and you're going to tell me whether it needs a subject or a predicate. So this one we know is a simple, or we know for sure that it is a sentence fragment. You're going to tell me, do we need a predicate or a subject, okay? So you're just going to write subject or predicate on the line, and there's 4 of those. So, for example, my computer is moving like a snail. Let's go, computer. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. Writing sentences. This is like what we did last. All you're going to do is you're going to finish the sentence for me. So each of these sentences are sentence fragments. It either has a predicate or a subject, and you're just going to fill it in. So the first one was very helpful to Tanisha. So you could say, I was very helpful to Tanisha. Olive was very helpful to Tanisha. So that one was missing a subject. So there's like 8 of those. Maybe there's 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10 of those. And then this one, we are just reviewing complete sentences. Same thing. You're underlining each subject in the sentence, and you're highlighting the complete predicate in each sentence. If the sentence does not have a subject or a sentence, you need to type fragment. So some of them you need to write fragment for. There's another example. And then lastly, the last page, you just have to read this little paragraph, and you're going to answer 2 multiple choice questions about how to make the paragraph better. So all of this is due by Thursday morning. What questions do we have right now? Okay, Landon, if you're not going to be at school, you will have a lot to do online. You have to stay on it, which includes finishing NWEA. So what questions do we have about this homework/practice? You will be getting points for it. But like I said, it's not due till Thursday. This was our grammar live. So we won't be having a live grammar Tuesday or Wednesday. The next time we'll be going live for grammar will be on Thursday to go over all of this, okay? So no live grammar Tuesday, Thursday. There will be live grammar on Thursday to go over your homework that will be due. I will be checking it that morning to make sure you turned it in. Does anyone have any questions over the homework? As you're doing it, if you have a question, email me. I can totally help you. Or just do your personal best, and we're going to go over it all together. So if you didn't get one right, it's no big deal. We are going to go over it all together. So you're really just trying your personal best on your grammar. Anything? Any questions? Isaac, I'm not sure why you keep on putting smiley face or sad faces, but it's kind of taking up the chat. The homework is due by 7:45 a.m. on Thursday. So really you have today, Tuesday, and Wednesday to get it done. It has to be done Thursday morning. That way I can check it before our live in the afternoon. Okay, Brichelle? The code word for today is going to be, I have this cute little mask, and this mask says octopus because I have a cute little green octopus on my mask. So our code word is octopus. I will also post the code word. Spot isn't up yet. I will put that up as soon as I get off of this. Also, I will post this live recording in a little bit as soon as I get it uploaded, so you can come back and review this if you need to. But that is all I have to say today. I will post the code word octopus. Well, I'll post the spot for you to put the code soon. Thank you guys for joining our first live for grammar. You guys did awesome participating. You guys can leave me whenever you want. Code word is octopus. Great job, guys. You can leave me whenever.
Miss Nightfall,
Yes, Ava.
my mom told me to tell you that I was only a little bit late for class because it took a minute to get on.
That's okay. I know by Marissa. Sometimes it takes a minute, and that's no big deal. You were here for most of it. If you think you missed anything, you can always watch the recording later. But I think you were pretty much here for everything. So good job. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow, Ava and Marissa and Evan. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.
So we have just a few minutes left. If you